Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we're going live in Black Women Expats in Panama. And this is video 3 of our 3-part series that we did on living in Panama. Today you're in for a treat. We have special guests today from Boquete and David, and we're going to talk about their particular life living in these particular areas. If you don't know me, let me give you a brief introduction. My name is Mary Golf, and my channel is called My Season Life with Mary Golf. My channel is all about encouraging and supporting Black women over 50 to live their best lives. So if this is something that you might be interested in, please hit the like and subscribe. Like I said before, this is our 3rd video to our 3-part video series. I will have the link to the other 2 videos in the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching us today. And without further ado, let's get started with our first guest. A brief introduction, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Julia. I moved here with my family, total of 6 and 2 dogs. We live in David, Panama, and are loving it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Christy, and I moved here about 2 years ago. And I have 3 dogs, and I'm single. And any of you that are really interested in moving to Panama, I would really strongly suggest that you subscribe to channels like Mary Golf.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Galen Cox. I moved to Boquete 2.5 years ago from Dallas, Texas, and loving it here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here. I'm checking the comments real quick because I see, oh, thank you. Good morning. Good morning, ladies. And just to let you know, if you give StreamYard permission to see your name, because all I see right now on the screen is Facebook user. So we can see your comments, but we cannot see the person behind the comments. So you can click on the description in the event and grant StreamYard access to your profile so we can see your name. But thank you for saying good morning. All right, so we're going to get started with our first question here to the ladies. We'll do a round table, just a general question to get us started. How far are you from Panama City?
I'm about 5 hours, 45 minutes. So it takes us about that long to drive. But in the air, if you want to take the airplane, it takes about an hour, 15 or something like that.
And I'm equivalent. I'm in Boquete, and so I'm about 6 hours 45 minutes and about an hour flight.
Okay.
And I live in the area where Christy is, so it's the same for us.
Okay, awesome.
And let me add this, Mary, let me add one more thing for people that are from somewhere else. Panama City is about 200 miles from us. So it sounds like a long drive if you say 5.5, 6 hours, but it's only 200 miles. And it's just because the speed limits are so low.
Okay, got it.
All right, yeah.
Very good context. Thank you so much. Okay, so the next question is Uber available in your area? Do you need a car? Is your area walkable?
So where I live in David, we live next to the Americana Panamanian Highway, and it's not too far from Terminal Mall, Federal Mall, so you can technically walk everywhere. Uber is available here, but it's few and far between. You get some really good regular drivers. You don't need a car if you don't have a huge family. I think if you're single or you're a couple, you can get around on the bus, the taxis. Make sure you ask the price before you get in. And any Uber if they're available, and you can definitely walk. Walking here is actually enjoyable. You get to see a lot.
Yeah. I would suggest Uber really is not available in Boquete for different reasons. But taxis are plentiful. Depending where you come from, I would say depending where you come from in the States, depends if you want a car or not. I noticed that people from the East Coast really don't want a car, and they tend to not get cars when they're here. People from the West Coast like me, or like Galen from Texas, tend to get cars when we're here. So a lot of it depends on where you're from in the States.
If you're kind of like already used to public transportation or something like that, maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want to add, even though we don't have Uber in Boquete, what we find is that you get a taxi driver, and he gives you his phone number, and you call him like he's your Uber, and just schedule a pickup. So it's pretty easy to get a ride, even though I have a car. It is pretty easy to get a ride, and there's public transportation.
Your own personal Uber. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Ladies, if you're in the audience, we did get some questions beforehand that we're going through right now, but if you have a particular question, please don't hesitate to put it in the audience. Okay, our next question is, do you speak Spanish? How much interaction do you have with the locals?
Sí, yo hablo poco español, pero es muy importante para mi familia hablar español porque mi niñas atiende la escuela en Panama. So I speak a little bit of Spanish. I practice every day since we've been here. We've been here since June of last year. And I get a lot of interactions with the locals because my girls are enrolled in the international school, the Oxford School here in Panama. I also have an assistant here who works with me on speaking Spanish, and my girls get tutored every Saturday. So from when we first came with my Spanish background to Siéntate, I can hold little conversations.
Awesome. Very nice. I just started like getting serious with learning Spanish, and I actually have an instructor now, and I'm really enjoying it. I had this very small conversation with an Uber driver, and he was so tickled that I was trying to speak his language. So I was teaching him English words, and he was teaching me Spanish words.
I would say, people are very kind here, really just try, the best you can. I've been taking Spanish classes and doing Duolingo. So I've been trying since I've been here, but people are very kind and, very supportive if you try. So I wouldn't let that hold you back.
And I just
interactions with the locals. I think, it's really interaction every day. So it depends, it depends what you're doing, but pretty much every day I have some kind of interaction.
And I would say I speak Spanglish. I'm not studying my Spanish as much as I should. So I mix my Spanish words and my English words, and I use a lot of hand signals. And I shop a lot, and I get by with it. But I really, really like trying. And I know the Panamanians appreciate it when you try.
Got it.
Yes. Can I add, Mary, that I think that when you are inside of the local stores, and the stores here, local period, and you try to speak Spanish, try to catch on to like their lingo. Like we have certain words we would say in the US that wouldn't be used here in regular conversation. And that's what kind of integrates you into the culture. So it's not like I'm going to say there's a need to learn it, but not right away. Slowly, gradually get yourself into learning it, and you'll get more comfortable in the locals. Like Christy and Galen said, they are very welcoming.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, we got a couple of questions from the audience, and this is from Kathy. She wants to know, how expensive are the taxis?
That depends. For me, like if we have one vehicle, so sometimes if my husband has the car and I have to get the girls, I can go, their school's about 15 minutes away. I can go to and from the school, and I'll pay a total anywhere between $6 to $8. But I always ask the price before I get in the vehicle, because that's the price I want them to stick to when it's time for me to pay. If you try to negotiate while you're in the vehicle, that can be a little bit challenging. So they're not expensive. You can go somewhere for $2, $3. They're reasonably priced.
Yes.
So you have to negotiate.
Yeah. I would say the same.
Everything.
I would say the same, $2 to $3 that, and always get the price ahead of time, and don't be afraid to negotiate.
Okay.
And I've used taxi in Panama City more than Boquete. I think in 2.5 years, I've been on a taxi once in Boquete, and it cost me $1. So, I got a car the day I arrived. So I'm from Texas, and I'm just used to having a car.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, we have another question live from the audience from Monique. It says, what about the closest hospitals? And can you discuss whether you own the cost of rental versus owning? Okay, now we got two different questions here. Okay, so let's tackle the first one about the hospitals. How close are you to, like, I guess the nearest hospital or clinic or anything like that?
Clinics are everywhere.
Okay.
Everywhere. They are absolutely everywhere. I'm close to May Lewis, like literally 5 minutes up the road. I'm close to Chiriqui Hospital, and these two are private hospitals, maybe
Okay.
10 minutes from Chiriqui. And then there's a public hospital in David, the main hospital. I'm maybe about 7 minutes away from that. So my location is pretty prime, and a lot of that was important because we have 4 girls.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
So I'm probably like what 5 minutes, Galen, from a clinic. So their clinics are
Yeah.
pretty prevalent. I'm probably about I would say a good 40 minutes away from what you would consider a hospital. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna devote something about my. I was a cancer survivor,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was really important to me to be close to a hospital when I was here. And so I've been really pleasantly surprised with the medical here. So
Yes.
that was not it has not been a concern so far.
Okay. Awesome.
So I've not had, other than just having some, X-rays or things like that. I've had the experience to travel to David to use the hospitals there, and I have to say, it's like Chrissy said, it's about 40 minutes away, and it's really quite convenient. My husband had surgery here recently at the
Mm-hmm.
hospital in David, and
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal experience. And
Okay.
I would say the only thing I would caution people about, even though there are hospitals here, on the
Mm-hmm.
real side, if you call an ambulance here, it's a ride to the hospital. It's just a ride. It's not,
Okay.
I'm not pumping on your chest. It's a ride to the hospital.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Got it. No, that's very important to know.
Yeah.
Let's take the second part of this question. I'm thinking they're talking about whether or not you own or rent, like an apartment or a house. Discuss whether you own the cost of rental versus owning. Well, when we get into cost, I think that's based on your own individual budget. So we don't really need to talk about how much people are spending, but maybe we can talk about an average of maybe, because I think that was in one of the questions. So we're kind of hitting it now. The average of, if you know anybody that's renting like a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, what would be like a range they would expect to pay? Maybe something like that. Are you ladies, are you homeowners or are you renters? And we can kind of maybe go from there.
Yeah. Okay.
We're renting right now. We're hoping to purchase within a couple of years.
Hmm.
And because of the size of our family, we rent 4 bedrooms or higher. And if you have a large family, the 4 bedrooms or more are a little bit harder to find because in Panama they have a lot smaller 1 and 2 bedrooms. 3 bedrooms are like plethora, it's a lot of them.
Okay.
And it's not hard to rent. I would definitely say make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's when going over the contract, and make sure that the contract not only benefits you, but benefits your future in renting the property and any appliances included in.
Okay. Thank you so
I,
much.
yeah. I rented when I first got here, and I decided to buy. And I guess mine is a little. I was like a single woman, retired, so it's a little different. And then obviously I had pets. But one of the best things I did was go through a real estate agent. I think getting a real estate agent that you trust
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
really important.
Mhm.
And look around too, because you can, again, I think some people come here with the idea that, I'm going to rent a 5 bedroom house, for 500 a month. Well, that's not happening. But but you can have a nice place, I would say, comfortably in Boquete. I don't know so much about the beat, but comfortably in Boquete you can have something 2 bedroom plus for 1,000 plus a month. I don't know,
Mhm.
what do you think, Galen? But
Yeah.
really count on being able to pay 1,000 or more if you want to be
Okay.
comfortable.
If
Yeah.
you want to be comfortable. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, because you can go quite a bit less on a rental, but
Mm.
as in anywhere in the world, you get what you pay for.
Exactly.
I rented it first. We rented so we could determine what neighborhood we wanted. So rental is, and everybody says it's always best to rent, and it's always best to rent something you've seen,
Right.
as opposed to picking that puppy out online. A lot of horror stories with that. But we did purchase a house. We've been in our house for a year and a half. So we rented for 1 year and then we purchased a house.
Okay. Awesome.
There's a lot of stipulation with rentals that they don't really necessarily share with you, especially as expats. One of the stipulations that I kind of, one of the things that happened when we got here was like the maintenance of the air conditioner. Like in New York City, we had central air maintenance, and it was my AC. But to have to maintain the AC here in a rental every 4 months, that was shocking to me. So there are just a lot of things with a rental that are equivalent to stateside rentals. So ask all the questions.
That's true.
Yeah. And one of the things also is to make sure you at least, Galen alluded to this, is rent for a year. Rent for a while before that you decide where you're going to buy. And then the other thing, as Julia said, is that there's things that you wouldn't even think about, like hot water in every faucet.
Yep.
Yep. Like some places don't have hot water in every faucet. So just little things like that.
Right. Dot those I's and cross those T's.
And it's all about the landlord.
Don't expect to have a stove in your rental when you come in, or a refrigerator. Those are things that you potentially may have to purchase, like appliances, even an AC. You can find a 3-bedroom home for $500, but you might not have the appliances. You have to buy that.
Yeah, that's well. And in the city, I've noticed the majority of the apartments do have, even if you get it unfurnished, because I'm even considering unfurnished in the future, the majority do have those appliances. But I do know a small amount. I remember talking to one lady, she did not have a stove when she initially moved in. So you gotta negotiate those things before you sign that actual lease, because like you mentioned before, Julia, once you sign or you step in that cab, it's kind of like hard to negotiate. Yeah.
Yes.
One of the important things I think that we had to learn, because it's all based on your landlord, and you have, I know people that have excellent relationships with their landlord, and they sign a 5-year lease because they're that happy with their landlord. Yeah. But it's not for everyone, and you just really have to do your homework, or you find yourself moving repeatedly because the house was fabulous, but the people next door had 4 roosters and 10 dogs, and you never get to go to sleep. So, or there's a disco on the corner from your house that runs out of somebody else's house. So, there are a lot of things to pay attention to with that. But some people rent the whole time they're here, so it's not necessary to buy, and that's a good point to make.
So it's nice to have those choices. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so here's a question from Roxanne. Hey, Roxanne, how do you handle the scorpion issue?
I'm gonna take that first because I think I'm like Scorpion Central, right?
Yeah.
I think I've had a scorpion probably every week since I've been here. Almost.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's and it actually one even stung this guy that was coming to deliver furniture. You get used to it. I know that sounds strange, but you get used to it. The first time I saw one, I was like, running through the house, right? And now it's like, okay, where's my slippers? So I can get up, right? So it's you really get used to it, and you kind of know where they hang out.
Yeah.
So there's different places that they hang out, and there's there's different things that you can buy, that are non-toxic. To discourage them, but I know that sounds strange, but you actually do get used to the scorpions.
Wow.
And just because of your experience, Christy, I always expected that I would have a lot of scorpions. I hear people talking about it all the time. And, I live on the back of a canyon. I've been in this house a year and a half. I may have had 3 scorpions in a year and a half. And maybe one was inside. And I'm like, wait. I'm like, what are you doing in here? I'm not used to that. But so I expect to see the scorpions, and I'm looking for the scorpions, but they are just not in my house. And it may be because my house is just sealed up really well.
Okay.
Because my neighbors do have, my neighbors talk about their scorpions, and
they have them, but you don't. Wow.
Yeah, and my neighbors have exterminators and everything. One of my neighbors keeps a black light so she can see the scorpions. So she said, "You want a black light?" I'm like, "I don't have scorpions."
Well, I'm blessed to say we do not have that issue. We have ants issues, but we don't. But our ants bite. Ants everywhere, but they're regular ants. Some of them are big, some of them have wings, but we don't have scorpion issues here.
Yeah,
good. As far as the ant issue, when I lived in Saipan, we had this issue with ants, and there's like this little little gel packs. They're clear packs that you put down. Oh my gosh, they get rid of those ants just like that. They
work even outside.
Yes, they are very, very helpful when it comes to getting rid of ants. I guess the ants go in there and eat it or whatever it is,
and take it out to the queen.
Yes, they'll kill a whole colony. I mean, you will not have any more ants.
Well, is it at the Jewish Center? Because I need that. The ants are trying to come in now because the rainy season hit.
Yes, they're there.
It probably is. Yeah.
It is. It's there in David where you are. There, it comes in I think it's a 3-pack.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are very helpful, Julia.
So I have ants. My ants are not inside though. All our packs are outside because we have not had an ant problem inside either. Maybe they're afraid of us.
Okay, let's move along. Okay, so our next question from Justine. Did those with cars, did you, I guess, have your cars shipped, or did you buy your cars there in Panama? Have you guys purchased your cars, or did you bring your cars with you?
We purchased our vehicle here in Panama.
Okay. How was the buying process? Is that a hard process or pretty straightforward, or did you go through a third party or straight to the dealer?
We brought a brand new car, so we financed a small portion of it, and it was smooth. We've had a person at the bank who did the broken English with me. We did Spanglish together, and we had Spanglish car dealership guy, and it worked out well. And what I would say is that they had to make some changes to the car. And the buying process, when you normally put your deposit down, you would do it normally with in the US, you would give it to the bank, right? You give the bank the money or whatever the case may be, if you're doing with the car dealership. But here we had to go directly to the car dealership, give them the money that we wanted to. They then got the approval from the bank for the remaining, and then it circled back to us to sign the contract. And then a couple of weeks later, we got our vehicle. So, it's very similar. Some steps are like turned around, but it's very similar. It wasn't hard at all. It was just the percentage, depending on the type of vehicle, the percentage that you have to put down is different. So if it's a new vehicle, you have this amount percentage, and old vehicles and so forth and so forth. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
I bought here. I had somebody help me because it was like Galen. I was like getting off the plane buying a car, right? So I had, I had somebody help me, and it was a real smooth process. I bought a new car because, the roads are real interesting here in Panama. There's quite some rough ones, and I just wanted to make sure I did not have any kind of car trouble. So that was just me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I have bought 2 cars here. I bought my used car when I first got here from a used car dealer that was the main one in town. Very, very good experience. I rented from them until I bought from them. And then late last year, I bought a new car. And I have to say, I am an old chick, and that was the best car buying experience I have ever had in my life here in Panama. My salesman is now my family. It was that good.
Wow. That's very nice.
I'm surprised it does go. It's really quick. It's not the hours it's not the hours in the dealership going back and forth.
Easy.
None of that. Yeah, none of that.
No arguing, no haggling. The price is up front. You pay that price, and you can put it on your credit card. You don't even have to finance that price. You can put your car on your credit card.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess just pay your card off.
Just pay your card off and get those points.
Get all those points.
Yeah.
That was the best part of it. So.
Okay, we have a couple of live
Oh, can I
questions
just say
here.
something about the shipping of
Sure,
cars?
Oh,
You know
sure,
that,
shipping.
absolutely.
you know,
Yes.
and this is from somebody that doesn't know anything about cars, but people that have shipped cars said
Mm-hmm.
that there's a lot of little stuff that is very different here,
Yes.
and you might not want to ship because of, getting it worked on once it's here. So that would be the only thing, the recommendation. If you're really that interested in shipping a car, really look
Right.
into it deeply,
And
because there's some issues.
Because
not
they
just the repairs, getting it here.
Yeah,
The
getting
customs,
right.
in
the
here.
whole customs
Customs,
process
the whole
Yeah,
is a
process.
headache. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
big
From
headache. Not worth it unless that car
Yeah.
is, and the other thing is, once you ship that car in, if you decide to send it out, a worse headache if you try to take it back
right,
to the States. Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the whole
haven't.
registration process and everything is like really, really, it's a big headache. And then also the gas here. It's not the regular 87, I think we take up in the States, but it's the octane is higher here. So if your car can't take that octane, you're going to damage your vehicle the moment that you put gas in it. It's not going to work.
Okay, let's switch gears from cars. Let's talk a little bit about your local internet and cell service. Can you guys tell us a little bit about that? What companies do you use? Are they reliable? Have you had any problems with your internet or cell service?
I
We
have.
use,
Oh, go ahead.
sorry,
Go
we
ahead.
use Mass Mobile. We use Mass Mobile for our internet and our cell phones, and in total, we pay about $70 for internet, cable, and telephone, house phone, and then $35 for unlimited data, unlimited everything, messages for 3 phone lines. So we pay about $150 for our internet and our cell phones and do Mass Mobile. And Mass Mobile recently merged with Claro. So Claro and Mass Mobile are now a company together. So we get a lot more touch points throughout the country.
Mhm. Yeah. I have Tigo, so it's with everything, cable,
Who do you
phone.
have? I
Tigo.
didn't. Tigo. Okay.
Yeah, with cable, phone, and everything, it is probably around 100. So, and that's like 2 phones and the whole bit. And so it's pretty. I thought it was real reasonable, and I've had no issues. There's a guy in town. You kind of go downtown. It's kind of interesting. If you're having trouble, you just go in and he helps you out. So it is it's very different. And the only thing I would suggest that's a little difficult is especially if you're doing a lot of banking or business with the states, you might want to consider keeping a U.S. phone number,
Mhm.
because even though I have a Google Voice phone number, and a lot of places don't take Google Voice, and you
Mhm.
can't do a lot of business sometimes if you just have a Panamanian number.
Okay.
For me, we have we're in our house is kind of remote, and there's a cable company here that specializes in remote areas. It's called B Wireless. So we have them currently. We've had them since we moved here. Yesterday, we ordered our Starlink. Starlink just arrived. Starlink just arrived in Panama. We ordered our equipment yesterday, so my husband is anxiously awaiting that equipment arrival. So once we
I
get
have to
started,
tell my husband now.
yeah, my next door neighbor got his a few days ago, and his speed is up to 261.
Now what? Now what is
Yes,
Starlink?
Yeah, let's
it's
talk
the
about that.
so
Starlink.
Starlink. Yeah. So,
Okay.
and I'm not technical, so I can't tell you.
Okay.
I just know it reaches to a satellite in the sky. So you have
Mhm.
to mount it so it has clear access to the sky,
Okay.
and you can the cable service is supposed to be so phenomenal. It just came to Panama, I want to say last week or the week before, and people have just gone bonkers. They actually have DHL will actually deliver it to your house for like $22, all your equipment, simply
Oh,
I
because
can't wait to get mine. I'm so excited.
I'm like,
so they
oh,
they like brought all the equipment into Panama so they can distribute it very cheaply. So because DHL is expensive, but not if you're doing
Okay.
it locally. So
Okay.
Taylor,
anyway,
you
and
gonna
it's
make me
cheap.
text my husband right now
Oh,
about this,
oh,
because we've been monitoring it. It's Starlink is good. It's not Elon Musk.
okay, it's $50 a month. Oh, wait. There's a special until June 1st. You get your equipment for half price.
You better shut the front door. I'm gonna order as soon as we get off this chat.
Okay,
That's my
Gayla,
contribution today. I'm gonna shut up now because that's my contribution.
Gayla, you need to send us the link how to contact them. Okay.
Okay. All right, here.
You know
Let's
what? That's an example. Can I put that? That's an example how we help each other out.
Yeah.
Yes.
That has been the most amazing thing. Everywhere I go, people have just been amazing about helping each other out. There's no shortage of information here.
And that's exactly why we're doing these videos so we can reach a wider audience with our, we can help people that are here, people that are thinking about moving here, because I'm all about sharing resources. So I appreciate that very much. So, okay, we're going to switch gears a little bit because someone wanted to know about the temperature because they didn't want to live, I think, in the city because it was kind of too hot and humid. So they want to know about the temperatures there in your area where you're living.
So I guess I could start. I can
Say
start
that.
that out.
Who are we starting with?
Start with Julia.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Julia. What are you saying, Julia?
I say skip. If you are not 85 or higher, just drive right past David. Don't even open the windows. And I like the heat. I'm a summer baby, but this past summer we had oh my God, it was a heat wave. And I was like, is it ever going to end? Please give me some rain because it was just so hot. And I'm not talking about like Texas hot heat, just like stale heat. I'm talking about you had a mixture of a humidity one day, then it was a stale heat, then it rained a little bit, it teased you, and then it got even hotter. So if you can't tolerate above 85 degrees, skip David, go to Los Agabos or Boquete or Dolaguita, like go that way in Chiriqui. To Bocan, it's cooler. Not David. David and up, leave it alone.
I was the same way. I was in Panama City and I got off the plane. I said, oh no. No. And Coronado, which is on the other side, I said, oh no, this is not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And drove through David because it was way too crazy hot. So Boquete, I would say on any given day, it's between 70 and the hottest I've felt here is maybe 80. And it's not a hot 80. It's, it's just a nice, cool temperature. And that's like every day.
Yeah. Boquete, especially where Christy is, Boquete's cooler. I used to live in that area. And sometimes in the evenings, you may sit outside with a wrap. You're never going to need a coat, but yeah, but it's cool. But I'm a little out further from the main part of Boquete, and maybe 15 minutes from David. And it's a little warmer here, but the breeze makes up the difference. So, in the shade, it's comfortable. We're not 85. I've not experienced 85.
What I will say is this, we say it never gets cold in Boquete, but if you live in the warmer parts of Panama and you go to Boquete, we went to the Flower Festival. Yes, they sell gloves, and we laughed at the people because we're from New York, and we're like, oh, what they need gloves for here? And they crazy. And yeah, for sure, we were like, okay, can we have 3 pair of those gloves, please? Thank you. But because it gets a little chilly, your body acclimates to the warmer weather, and Boquete and Volcan are a lot cooler. So it gives you more of a cooler vibe. But if you're in David and Panama City and headed to Boquete, bring a jacket, maybe a coat and some gloves and a hat because it's going to feel cold.
Oh yeah, maybe to y'all, but I have not had my hat on since I've been here.
I think Galen alluded to something that's really right. Is it to look to when you get here to live in different areas, because you can be 10 minutes, 15 minutes down the road and have almost completely different temperature, completely different weather. There's some people where it's been raining on my side of town and it's not raining on 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away. So it's just really kind of look at the neighborhood.
The microclimate is real. Yeah.
Okay, just for reference, Galen and Christy, how far do you live from each other? How many miles?
I'm 12 kilometers, maybe 12, 15 kilometers.
Okay.
Yeah. And and there's a difference in her temperature and mine, because the more in the mountains you get, the cooler it is.
Okay, got it. Okay, so this is from Camellia. How rural is Boquete? Can you compare it to a city in Southern or Northern California?
Okay. So there's a Northern California girl. She know that. Okay. So I'm Northern California and Southern California girl. So I would say like Roseville, Yuba City. It's it's a smaller town, but not. I would not say rural. I would just
Okay.
say small, definitely small town. Roseville or Yuba City.
Yeah. I
So
would say
small.
Bocan gets more rural. Bocan is
Yeah.
considered more rural.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's farmland. Bocan is
Hmm.
an hour from us, and
Yeah.
it's more farmland. We're
Okay.
just yeah. So we're not really that. There are some areas where it's remote.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Like there's people down the street from me, and they may only have one house on their street. So
Right.
it's not really considered rural. It's just remote, I guess.
Okay. Okay. Right. Um, Here is a live, sort of like question statement. It appears as though the cost of renting is about the same as here in the U.S. Is that true? Yeah, I'm not.
I would have to say, I think it depends on your style, your preference,
Absolutely.
your lifestyle.
Yes.
So if you a little bougie like me and you want like an upgraded kitchen, yeah, you're gonna pay a little bit more for that. Or
Right.
you want a dishwasher, you're gonna pay a little bit more for that. And the location is also something that you have to keep in mind. In Boquete,
Mhm.
they in regards to like what rental is like there as to what rental is like in David, it's definitely different. The price is going to be different. But also the amenities within the home is going to depend on what your budget is and what your style is.
Yeah, I would say it also depends where you come from in the States. If you come from, a rural place in, maybe Arkansas or the South, it's not going to be that much difference. But coming from, Northern California, I would
Mhm.
say
Hmm.
a third of what you would pay in Northern California,
Okay.
a third or
Okay.
less. And for much,
Okay.
you could probably rent, and I'm just throwing numbers out here, but you could probably rent a half acre home on a half acre, 2, 3 bedrooms for a third of what you could
It
rent
would
in the
cost.
States. And you couldn't even
Okay.
you
Yeah.
really couldn't even get close.
Okay.
You just can't.
Okay.
I want to say I lived in a rental in a gated community in the heart of town when I first got here, and I want to say our rent was like we had a two bedroom 2 bathroom rental, uh, and it sat on 2 acres of land in a gated community, and we paid $1,400 all inclusive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard pressed to get that in the States.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's I can't really see unless you come
Oh
from a
yeah.
very small town, someplace that doesn't have a lot of competition for rentals. Maybe you would get
right.
something cheaper, but not really.
And it's
Okay.
Also
all
keep in mind the
negotiable.
area that you're in too. Like the
Yeah.
area that you're going to be is going to determine your rental cost. Because here in David, you won't find 2 acres because David is the second largest city. So the setup is not exactly like Panama, but Panama City, but it's very similar. A lot of people are
Mhm.
here. It's a hustle and bustle in a little bit.
Mhm.
Not as much as Panama City, but the rental rates are very different, and you won't get that much. Like we live in a gated community as well, and but we got a 7 bedroom home, and we're still paying equivalent. It's equivalent, yeah. It's about equivalent to what we were paying for our mortgage in a 4 bedroom, 2 bath house. We have a 7 bedroom, 5 bath home, and
Wow.
it's less than $2,000. Let's just say that.
That's a large
So
house.
yeah. So
Wow.
Christy, you're on regular electricity because that's also the thing to consider. People will always want to know. Depends on where you live, whether or not you use your air conditioner and what your electricity runs.
Hmm.
So coming from California, Christy, your
Oh,
electricity, how does that compare?
oh, it's I mean, probably I had PG&E, and so I was looking at just for PG&E, not even just it was probably 300 to 400.
In the States? Yeah.
in the States, and that here, and I'm not even, and that was kind of being careful. And here it's, maybe 100 if I'm, and I don't use air. So it's maybe 100 a month, if that. And that's
Okay.
for everything.
And I'm on solar, so mine doesn't count.
Nice.
You know what, Gail? We need to visit you, okay? You got the setup.
I got a $7 light bill, so I'm all
I
right.
need to take pages out of your book, okay?
$7 light bill. Okay, this is one of the questions that we had got in advance. What do you do on a daily or weekly basis to keep busy? So, what is like a typical day for you?
Gayla needs to do that because I've never known anybody as busy in my life. Girl, what are you doing?
I'm just social. That's all. But yeah, I know a lot of people think I go through Boquete. Where is everybody? We have a lot of personal private events, things we plan for ourselves.
Yes.
I mean, Panama has a lot of holidays, a lot of festivals, a lot of things going on, and we participate in those fabulous parades, lots of things going on. But we also plan our own activities. I mean, I have a standing weekly domino game. Like every Thursday, I play dominoes. Christy and I had bridge lessons. Christy set up a thing for us to do bridge every Wednesday. We were taking bridge lessons. We do a lot of happy hours. We dance parties, and sometimes we just tell everybody to meet us somewhere for drinks or dinner. Kind of like what you do, Mary, with the planning with the ladies in Panama City. So we do things like that, and we do it. It's usually mixed with singles and couples. It's we go listen to jazz. Mondays is jazz night, and so we have those kind of activities along with what's already going on in the Panamanian community.
Got it. Very nice.
From a family's perspective, we literally picked our life up from the U.S. and moved here. We're not retired, so I work, my husband works, my girls are in school, and the things that we do for fun, we definitely do play dates with the girls. So we have a lot of local friends. We have some expat friends. The girls are in sports activities. My husband and I do date nights. We'll drive down to Chopsticks, or we'll go somewhere in Boquete. We're vegan vegetarian, so we like to visit Organica, the movies. This is Five Federal Mall. They have a downtown. They have a trampoline park. They have all these really nice restaurants. It's a lot of things you can do. You just literally have to be, what I like to say, boots on the ground to figure out and find out what's pleasing to you. They have cafes with mommy and me. So if my girls don't have school, but I'm working, I can go to the cafe and they can play. There's a lot of things. There's a lot, but you won't find it on the internet. I will say that. You have to be out here to find it.
All right. I agree with that. Boots on the ground is like the way to go.
Yeah. I'm single, so it's a little different, but not much. There's a lot to do. So like yesterday, I volunteered at a clinic, a dog spay neuter clinic, and so I was doing that. I take Spanish lessons. There's yoga. There's lots of outdoor activities around hiking, and doing different things. There's music. So there's really actually always something. That was one of the things, because I moved from Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area. So I was like, am I gonna be crazy bored? And I have not found that to be the case.
Right. I know I sometimes turn down social events.
You do. You have to turn them down.
I've been already out like 3 times this week, and I just want to chill. So, but speaking of being single in Panama, let's transition on to our next question here. What is the dating scene like for heterosexual, single, 50-plus expat women who are still interested in finding their soulmate? What are some experiences you or your friends have had there?
So that's probably, well, I'll say as a single woman, I think that's actually kind of interesting. There's people here that that meet their soulmate and they weren't expecting it. So I have a friend that has just met somebody that she just went 6 weeks to Europe. They're traveling all around. They're just having a wonderful time. I'm I'm not going to say things aren't thin on the ground, right? Because they are, right? But if you speak Spanish, that's the one thing I would say. If you speak Spanish, I don't think that there's going to be a lot more opportunities. So
There will be.
I think if you're
Okay.
open to I think if you're open to different communities,
Absolutely.
I think there's going to be a lot more opportunities, and definitely speaking Spanish would be a plus. Um, I think the experience that the limited experience I've had here has been good. I think that people are respectful, uh, they're nice. I think that again, we're in a smaller community, so there's only 25,000 people here. So people tend to be a little bit more respectful when they know that there's neighbors out there that are watching out for you and watching them. So I'll just say that.
Okay. Awesome. All right.
And Chrissy and I have the same friends, so she speaks for. We all have the same friends.
Got it. Okay, we have a question here from the audience. Did any of you check out other countries before deciding on Panama? What made you choose Panama over the others?
Yeah, my family and I actually lived in Medellin, Colombia for 6 months. It's beautiful there. I actually miss it. It's wonderful. And we also looked into Costa Rica.
Okay.
So my husband is in cybersecurity, and he's big on taxes and things like that. And also the visa was something that was important. It was easy to get a visa here in Panama because he is retired military. He's a veteran. So we were able to get our visas very, very easily. The weather was something that played a factor, economic status, the development, like the infrastructure. Panama is up and coming. It's literally about to be the next big country out there. So we felt like our investment should be here in Panama instead of other countries.
Very nice. Thank you, Julia.
I checked out a number of countries: Portugal, Mexico, Costa Rica, Medellin as well. I think and I just, like I said, as a single woman, I just needed something a little bit different and a place where I felt comfortable. And one of the things that I took a tour, and then I stayed here for about 2 weeks afterwards. And I said, do I feel comfortable coming back to wherever I'm staying at night? That answered the question for me. Do I feel comfortable? Do I have a community around me? Do I feel comfortable coming home at night? Do I, will I be able to make, new friends? And I just think that was the biggest thing for me. And then, the cost of living, as well as, I think what Julia alluded to is, Panama being up and coming.
My husband and I had a list, and each list was different. We did not even have the same countries on our list. So we did proceed to visit other countries. And we didn't, because we got to Panama and we looked at each other and thought, yeah, this is it. So a lot of what the other lady said, as far as the infrastructure, cost of living, and those things all played a factor. And the ease of the visa. I mean, Panama has a lot of hoops to jump through, but I think it's easier than some other countries. So we tried Belize, St. Martin, Costa Rica, and Hawaii.
Okay.
So
awesome. All right, we're going to move right along here from Monique. Can you discuss what the crime rate is like in both places, especially as a single woman expat? What, they're only going to well, I can't comment to myself, but yeah, crime is going to be.
I can't allude to. Yeah, I mean, I can't allude to whether crime is everywhere. Let me just put that out there. Crime is everywhere, and you're going to feel, depending on what you're afraid of, that's something that you have to take into account. For me, it was my kids in school. And then on top of that, this is a Black expat show. We are African American. I have 4 little Black girls. I actually have 5. My oldest is in the state. And it was important for me to keep them safe, not only from random shooters, but police officers and random other people. So the racial divide in the U.S. was just out of this world. And I live in New York. I lived in Troy, New York, upstate New York, trying to be in a safe environment for my kids, and it still finds you. But crime will be every and anywhere. There's
Yes.
shooting you won't see happen. Are there scuffles and fights and things like that? Car accidents? Absolutely. Some of it intentional, some of it's not. I'm not a person who watches the news all the time, but the
Right.
rates of crime here, I can't quote it. I don't know how factual my rates would be, but if I had to compare based on my own personal experience, I'll literally say 0 to 100 because I feel safe. I can go outside and walk in David at 2 o'clock in the morning by myself in the center of David, and I'm okay with that. I feel comfort in that. And I feel okay with having my girls walk around the mall in David and I can sit in one spot and I
And
know
not,
they good to go.
and you know they're not going to get snatched.
Yeah.
Yes. I
And
know they
and
good.
I think it's funny when people in the States always say, "Is it safe over there?" And I thought, you live in the States. How safe are you? So yeah, I do feel extremely safe. A very important thing for me here. I do feel safe, and I don't. The only thing other crime I hear about, there's petty crime. You leave your cell phone in your car
Yes.
and the windows down, it may not be there. But
Yeah,
if you leave your cell phone at the grocery store on the counter, they will chase you down to give it back to you.
that is true.
Or get on the online and say, I found this phone.
Right.
Anybody, know who this person is that lost their phone.
Right.
I find it more people trying to protect you more than hurt you.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good point, Galen.
So I have two things. I've been here for 2 years, right? And I would say in 2 years, I've had not been a victim of crime at all. Now
Okay.
that, like I say, I came from Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area, so it might be different for some folks. But there was always something. Somebody broke into my car. Somebody broke into there was always some kind of little petty something that was happening. And here in 2 years, knock wood, nothing's happened. And like I said before, that I was an educator, and so there was a big thing in town. Facebook is a big thing here, and there was a big thing in town that is, oh my God, there's a fight that happened downtown. There's a fight that happened downtown. You got to see this fight. Oh my God, there was a riot. And so I said, okay, well, let me go. I try to stay away from Facebook. I said, but let me go and see what
Right.
this fight's about. I started laughing. I said, I've broken up high school fights that were worse than what they considered a riot. I'm really maybe middle school. Like, it's like, really? What are you guys talking about?
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's talk about some nightlife. You probably not just David. We can answer this also for Boquete as well. What's the nightlife there in the areas? Any restaurants, happy hours? I think you guys, Galen talked a lot about that as well, about the different activities that are going on. Basically, they seem like they want to know: are there yoga studios, farmer markets, malls? Is David a good place for a single person, or is it more family oriented? Okay, that's a little more detailed as far as the question. Um,
David is a place for everything, I believe. You can be single, you can be a couple, you can be a family, very similar to Panama City. Just to scale down from it. So you can get everything that you need
mhm.
from David. There's tons of bars. It's a really nice place called D Coffee. My husband and I went there. They had a big screen TV, they had a DJ. But the thing about it is that that's like in almost every restaurant. So it depends on what time of day you go. You can go during the day and you can just have your coffee and your regular brunch, but you go at night, things tend to live up. And I love the way David looks at night. It's like everywhere. People who work all day and work hard, they like, we going to have fun because I worked hard and I want to enjoy myself.
Right.
So, and I guess it could be alluding to like, because I speak a lot about my family, not only the family here in David, but there are couples here, there are single men and women here who are enjoying a life in David. It's shopping everywhere you go. David
Yeah.
Center is beautiful. There's
Oh,
Terranal
nice.
Mall, Federal Mall. It's a lot of places
Oh,
here. You just
nice.
have to be deep on the ground.
Okay. Because I was in Boquete last, I think last year, and I didn't know Galen that well, but I will be planning another trip, Galen. We will be planning a group trip to come see you, ladies. And we'll also stop through David as well. So I'm looking forward to this. Now that you guys, I know you guys, and you're telling me all of this stuff going on, I'm looking forward to coming back up there. So for sure. So, so what do you ladies feel about Boquete? Do you feel it's geared towards single or family oriented or both people, both types?
You know, there's not as many families that I've noticed here. There's a lot of couples, you know, definitely a lot of couples, but there's a lot of single folks too. But I think that, you know, we kind of mix together, so there's not this divide like, oh, it's only like couples only.
Right.
And you know, real nice yoga studio in town, so there's definitely yoga if you want it 7 days a week. Definitely restaurants and bars. So, you know, there is a pretty big tourist industry. So that you'll do see that things will stay open later than a typical small town.
Okay.
And then farmers market, there's a Tuesday market that, you know, that's semi-famous, and so every Tuesday there's like a farmers market in town, and you know, folks can shop there. A little pricey, but folks can shop there.
Yeah. Okay. And that's where we find collard greens there.
Yeah.
At the farmers market.
At the Tuesday market. Yeah.
Oh,
kale and turnip too.
I have not. I mean, I've seen kale here, but I have not seen collard since I have been here. Yeah, but I've seen kale. Okay, so here's a question that this came before. I wanted to make sure we got to this question. Growing old abroad. Do you plan to grow old and pass away there? What are the different plans of action some of you or other expats you know have regarding this inevitable part of life? Are you going to be going back to the States, or do you have, you know, or have you thought that far, or do you have a plan of action? Are you spending the rest of your life there, or what?
The plan is to stay here forever for me and my family. We're still young. My husband and I are in our 30s. I won't be 40 until next year. So a will is in place. Life insurance is in place. Our girls are going to be either going to college here or going to college back, wherever they want to go, actually, because the school that they attend allow them that opportunity to go to college anywhere in the world, as some of the schools in the U.S., but being connected to Latin America and having that being bilingual gives them an edge up. So the plan is to buy more land and buy a finca and have a horse and just lovely pass away on the porch or whatever it is, but just calmly without all the drama and all the riffraff of the U.S. I love you, U.S., but no, thank you.
So I do have a plan to. There's actually a wonderful hospice organization in Boquete. And they do have a lot of resources about what you need to move on here.
Yeah.
I moved my mother down here, so my mother is living with me as well.
Oh,
and
that's so sweet.
Yeah, so it and that's been an amazing experience. So I just think that I feel actually, and I'm going to say I feel more comfortable growing old here because it just there's more. I don't know, there's more, I don't know, courtesy or what the word is, but deference.
I would say that.
It's a reverence. It's a reverence for older people.
Older folks. And there's an amazing community here that I know that, people don't hear from me for a couple of weeks or whatever, that people are like, where's Christy? And somebody somewhere will check in on me. And the way I've seen, I don't want to get too long-winded, but the way I've seen folks pull together when folks needed them, it's been amazing.
Right.
And I think what she alluded to with the health and hospice organization here, they have put together a booklet just specifically to tell expats, this is the order of what you need to do if something should happen. And also it gives you a form to fill out to say who your doctor is, who your next of kin is, where your documents are located. You have this booklet. So my husband and I have one each. And, of course, we've talked about it because we're old people, but we've talked about it our, with our child. I just told her yesterday, can she scatter my ashes here in Panama? And she said, can we get a little more exotic? And I'm like, no, I need my ashes in Panama. So yeah, it's the plan to live and die here.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going back to it's here. Oh, someone was very excited that you can get collard and turnip greens here.
See you at the Tuesday market.
They were very excited about that. Okay, so let me there's another I thought it'd be great. We might be rounding up here at our hour point, but let's if you can talk, because I like to always end on a positive note. So let's talk about maybe like name one thing that I guess your least favorite thing about living in the area, and then we'll talk about your most favorite thing. So let's start with like your least favorite thing about living in the area.
The traffic. I don't like it at all. Like it gets very congested, and not all day long, but around the time that people are going to work and the time that people are coming from work. Their motor vehicles, or I don't know, how do you say, directional system, there's no lights. There's like no traffic lights, and there's a large volume of vehicles that come in and out during those times, and I think that they need to they eventually will enhance that.
Right. Okay.
I would say the my least and thing that I like the most are probably the same thing. I love the fact that there's a small community that you can go out when you're out and about and see 2 or 3 people that you know and care about. That can be my least favorite thing, depending on your mood, right? So, sometimes you just want to kind of slip to the market, but
Exactly. You don't
all
want to
that, you don't want
communicate.
to you don't want to run into anybody, right? But you
Right.
can't all that here.
Galen, what's one of your least favorite?
My least favorite thing, and it's a personal thing. It's just probably because I'm a shopper. I do get a little frustrated with how many stores I have to go to finish my shopping list. It's not one-stop shopping, and you have to learn where you saw something the last time to go back and get it again, that kind of thing. So that's a little frustrating for me. Least favorite, so not that big of a deal. I'm retired. What am I going to do but go to 5 stores? My favorite thing is how friendly everybody is. Panamanians, expats, you walk into a store, everybody greets you. If you're a senior citizen, they step aside in the line to let you go ahead. It's just I like the respect and the friendliness, and I've gone to other countries and didn't experience that. And I realized, I didn't realize how unique to Panama that particular situation is. So I do love that about Panama.
Okay. Julia, you want to share what you want, one of your most favorite things about where you're at in David?
I love the weather and what it can do for my girls. Like in the US, we were cold. We were cold about 8 months out of the year, sometimes 9. It gives them the flexibility to go outside and actually be children. So kind of reliving my youth through my kids. Like, 'cause when I was younger, I was outside playing in water pumps and jumping double dutch and riding bikes. So now my girls have trampolines and they have the bikes. Sometimes they say it's too hot to ride, but having that as an option and not necessarily having to be cooped up in a house in front of a TV all the time. So it's mostly for my children.
That's very nice. Very nice. I can't remember, Chrissy, did you already share a favorite thing?
Yeah.
They were the same, weren't they?
Yeah, well, they were the same.
That's cute. Okay. I think I'm just scrolling through the comments. If there are a few that we didn't get to, ladies, then you can put them in the comments. This video will be published in the group and also on my YouTube channel, My Season Life with Mary Goff. If you are interested in more content like this, please Don't hesitate to give us some suggestions in the comments about any of the conversations you want us to see, you want us to have here. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Thank you, ladies, in the comments. I'm scrolling through right now. Thank you for watching us live. I think we talked about that here. We talked about the markets. I'm just scrolling through really fast to see if I missed someone. Okay, I think we pretty much covered everything. Yeah, I think we did. Thank you, ladies, so
Can I
much.
add something, Mary?
Sure, absolutely.
I just wanted to add, if there are any moms out here who want any information about the school system or anything about Life in David with a family, you can always reach out to me on Facebook. I have a group called Family Relocation Depot. I don't post every day, but I post important things that are really important to families and parents. And just reach out to me on Facebook, period. I'm always willing to support. I do 45-minute free consultation sessions.
Oh, awesome. And I'll put a link to your group in the description of this video as well. Thank you so much. So make sure you send that to me, okay? All right.
Will do.
Any other lasting thoughts or lasting advice you ladies want to give the guests who might be considering living in Boquete or David? Yes, Christy.
I think moving over here, it was a jump. It's a jump for most people. It's a leap.
Mm-hmm.
But I really say that, programs such as what Julia's talked about, her Facebook group, Mary Goff's YouTube channel, they're really, really important. I can't say, I can't suggest enough that you subscribe. I really do think they're important, because they gave me information that you really don't get just looking at the internet. You really have to interact with people.
Yeah, I think interaction and connecting with some sort of community is something that's very important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Any lasting comments, Galen?
Oh, I'm thrilled that you've done this on Boquete because people just had such misconceptions about what it's like in Boquete.
Yes.
So I'm glad you were able to do this and answer some questions. And I do say that on some of the groups out there, the Facebook groups, people, reach out to some of us that live in Boquete, wanting to come to town and, hey, can I meet you? I have questions. And, a lot of us are always happy to do that. But I just want to caution people that I know we're a bunch of old people up here retired, but we're really busy. So don't call us and say, I just got to town last week and I'm leaving tomorrow. You got time to see me today? No, we're not gonna be able to do it.
And not only that, we get that in all of the areas. I think people forget that we live here,
Yeah.
and we do have everyday things going on in our lives. We're not just like sitting around waiting for a visitor to show up. So,
Right.
So be mindful of that. If you're reaching out to anybody on any of the videos, make sure you give them plenty of time. And if they don't have time to meet with you, please don't take it personal. Because we are here living our lives. There's lots of research, resources that we're giving you. Sometimes you got to do some research on your own. So don't rely on us for everything. Okay. But once again, somebody just put in a comment. Let's see here. I think we are wrapping up. Yes, we just got a lot of thank yous. It's a nice thank you here. So that someone is going to be visiting next year. Yeah, a lot of thank yous. So we are wrapping up. Thank you, ladies, so much for participating once again. Thank you, ladies, for watching. This is the third video to our 3-part series of living in Panama. We have a video posted on living in Panama City. We also have the beach and the interior areas. And this third video is on Boquete and David. Once again, if you like this content, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Thank you for watching my season life with Mary Goff. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, and thank you, ladies, for participating.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, you guys.